and welcome to Patti Knits and Spins. I'm Patti, your host. You can find me on Ravelry as Pattisand. I have a group, Patti Knits and Spins podcast, so please come and join us. Today is October 31st, 2014. This is episode 43. Happy Halloween! On today's show, I will be talking about whips, FOs, naps, spinning, blending board fun, purchases, weaving, stitching. Whew! It's going to be an action-packed episode. So, sit back, relax, grab your beverage of choice. I'm still doing the water. Grab your craft of choice, and let's chat. Okay. On the needles this week. My work's in progress. I'm still working on the Hitofute cardigan by Hiroko Fukatsu. There we go. It is living in my stained glass owls bag by Silver Shed USA. You can find her on Etsy. If you recall, on the 20th, the last time I showed any works in progress, it was only on like row 4. I got a lot done. So here we go. This is Brown Sheep Company Cotton Fine, 80% cotton, 20% merino, in the color Pink Abu. I am a little concerned. I did the size large, and because I'm almost getting gauge, and I am still a little heavy, but I'm hoping that it'll stretch out. When I put it to my back, though, or hold it up to myself, it is way big. So I moved it down to the medium size for the back, and I'm hoping that that's pretty big. So we'll have to wait and see. I may have to play with the sizing for the back, since this is, oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. Since this is the sleeves and the back. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. That's the back portion. So hopefully I can fudge it a little bit, excuse me, and make it work for me. So I think it's going to be a nice lightweight sweater to wear in the summertime over a tank top. I'm hoping to get this done before the trip to Hawaii, because I'm thinking maybe I'll take this, and this can be a top to throw over when we go out to dinner somewhere. The second work in progress is my Wink by Hannah, and I'll spell her last name, Maciejewska, and it's really hard to see it because you really can't see in the red. I got a lot done. I also purchased a bigger size of signatures, which I got yesterday, so I could continue knitting on it, because it was getting kind of unwieldy, and I had it on a Knit Picks and the cable broke. I am slowly getting rid of all of my Knit Picks, because that was my 40-inch cable, and that was my last 40-inch cable that broke. And I'm going to get rid of my Knit Picks because they keep breaking on me, and I'm tired of messing with it. So, yeah, you live and you learn. I know that they had some gluing issues, but it seems like almost every one of my Knit Picks breaks. So, I guess I'm too rough with them. So, we're just going to get rid of them all. So, here is Wink. There is the front. And on the 20th, when I showed it last, that's where I was. So I got a lot knit up. I split off for the sleeves. And I've gotten to the ribbing on the side. So there's the ribbing that goes down the front. I'm thinking I'm almost to the waist increases. So once I get done with the waist increases, I'm going to stop and put the sleeves on, and then use up the rest of my yarn. This is Beaver Slide Dry Goods in the charcoal colorway. It is 90% wool, I think it's merino and 10% mohair. So this is going to be a very warm sweater, and hopefully I can get it nice and long, and maybe it'll be for late fall, early winter wear. So that is in my knitting's my bag, knitting's my bag's bag, and a sweater size. This bag is huge. I love this bag. So let me stop real quick and put the pattern back in the bag so I don't lose it. Finished objects. You did not even get to see this one started. This is A River Runs Through mitts. I have been eyeing these mitts for a while and just couldn't decide what yarn I wanted to knit them out of. So this week I took down my hand spun again, pulled out a couple of skeins, wound them up, and I decided to go with my Into the World Take It to the Bridge. I had 212 yards, so I still have some yardage left, so that will be going into my weaving project. But here they are. I like them very much. They're twisted stitches and cables and making the wave in the front, which is just stitches, moving stitches. This is by Amy Peltier. There's the picture. This is a good pattern. I really enjoyed the pattern. I like the fact that the only difference is the charts for the right hand and the left hand. And the thumbs, I did modify the thumb. I went up 2 more rows to make the thumb a little bit taller. And after I had bound off the second one and had all the, they haven't been washed, but they have their ends woven in and everything, I noticed on this glove, I started the stockinette stitches in the right place. This glove, I did not. They're right here instead of down here. I am not going to tear them out. I'm going to be happy and wear them. And in fact, they're going to get their first wearing tonight for Halloween. It is supposed to be 9 degrees, so I am the candy hander outer, and these are going to help me hand out the candy to the kids tonight. Yay! Finished object. And they are squishy, because this is Superwash Merino. And on this one I did overspin it in places, but that's okay. You know, I am not a perfect spinner by any stretch of the imagination, but I am happy with the projects, and I am happy with the process, and I'm happy with the finished objects. So I'm just going to plug along and be happy, right? Right. Drink time. But, oh, I wanted to say this is a 2-ply, and it was worsted, and in some spots it was maybe a sport to a decade in sport. So it's off and on, and I really thought I was going to run out of yarn, but I didn't. So that was really good. I knit these on a size 6. The pattern calls for a 7, and the 7 was too big for me. So I put it on a size 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter. Very nicely done. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say. I'm probably shaking you guys every time I hit my knee. The Hito Fude, I'm knitting that on a size 4, which is a 3.5. Yes. And then I am knitting the Wink on an 8, which is a 5.0. So that's very good. So that's my finished object of the week. My naps are the same naps, but I did figure out a couple of things. The first thing I figured out is what I'm going to use, what pattern I'm going to use for the Bejeweled Sock Set Rock hand spun, the 3-ply. I'm going to knit the Nature's Lace by Susan Ashcroft. Someone in the group told me about this pattern, and I can't remember right offhand who told me. So I will put it in the show notes or put it on the thread for this episode. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find a really good shot of it. It's a really nice pattern. It's a crescent, or a half circular shawl. It's not garter, it's stockinette, and then with a really pretty lace border. Oh, come on. Podcaster fail. Here we go. It's very pretty. I really like how it is, and I like the lace on it. It looks like it's going to be a really simple lace. Very simple lace. So this is knit on a size 6, which is the 4.0 millimeter. It uses 328 yards to 492 yards. It is adjustable, and it says to allow at least 330 yards or 300 millimeters. Or, not millimeters. Well, yeah, it is millimeters, isn't it? I'm going crazy. Out of a fingering weight. I'm sorry. I'm reading it, and I shouldn't be. And it's €3 or $3.86. So check out Susan Ashcroft's Nature's Lace. I hope you guys didn't hear that. My stomach just rumbled. Okay, the second nap was going to be the November socks. There they are. This is Light My Fire in the cashew base, which is the 80-10-10. So 80 superwash, 10 cashmere, 10 nylon. It is stripes of white, orange, and red. So those are the 11th pair of striped socks. And when I was digging around in my handspun stash this week, looking for a yarn for the mitts, I pulled out my Bullseye Bump. It's 410 yards of a merino, superwash merino, nylon, and Angelina. And I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to do probably a triangular shawl and change the stitch pattern every color change. And I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I'm just going to play around with it. So that is the Bermuda Triangle by Loop. And it is a chain plied. So I'm very happy with that. And it was 5 ounces, so it's probably in between a fingering and a sport. So it's probably more of a sport than anything else. But it's going to be a very, very nice stitch, or knit. So those are my naps for the next month. I haven't set myself goals for next month, so I guess it's going to be to finish one of the sweaters, finish the socks, and finish a shawl. And then I'll also have the stitching. The Once Upon a Time is coming out tomorrow, so I'll be stitching on that. And I'm also still stitching on the Fly Butterfly, but I will talk about that when I get to the stitching part. Spinning. I finished, finally, the Malabrigo Nube, or Noob, in the Cirza colorway, which is color number 33. I ended up getting 426 yards of a 2-ply. I like how the colors turned out. I'm very, very happy with that. I'm just not going to be spinning Malabrigo anymore. After my Blending Board Fun Archangel colorway is done, that's all. It's a good price point. That is one of the other LYS carries it, but and it's super wash, and I just don't like it. It's matted to me. To me, it's matted. And it's hard to spin. You're breaking it apart, fluffing it out all the time. It's a lot of work and not a lot of fun, so I'm not going to anymore. If you find that different, I'm sorry, and I hope I haven't offended anybody, because that is not my intent. My intent is to give you my thoughts on it, and that's my thoughts. So, there we go. I do like their colors. Their colors are gorgeous. You know, Malabrigo's colors are beautiful. I love their yarn. I'm just not happy with their fiber. Okay, spinning. Since the Nube is gone, I started a new spin. This is Never Enough Time in the colorway, or these are the Wildfire Bats. This is Rambouillet. There was 2.9 ounces, so this is either the 1.4 or the 1.5. And here is what's left. I absolutely love it. What I did is I opened it up like this, and I tore the back off. And that's how it split it. So then I took it and just did strips from the lightest color to the red. And so I'm going to be starting this and doing the same. On this one I did the short forward draw. On this though, I think I'm going to be doing the long draw, because there were times when I would have a huge blip of fiber go through and I would have to fix it, and to fix it I would untwist it a little bit, pull it back, and then let the twist carry back up into that big blob. And it seemed to like the long draw better than the short forward draw, but I wanted to continue with what I had started with when I started it, so I am going to do that, the long draw with the other one. So it's not really consistent, but I'm happy with the spin, and it's so smooshy. Hopefully you guys can see it just really smooshes down. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully by next week I'll have that done. If not, I may have overloaded myself again, so it may be a couple of weeks before I get that finished, but that's okay. I am really happy with the spin, and it was a lot of fun. So, if you guys remember, I just talked about the Archangel colorway of the Nube that I had put on the blending board. So this is the stuff I had, the first 2 ounces that I had done. I had taken the braid, and instead of doing it lengthwise, I did it widthwise. I cut it, or didn't cut it, but I tore it apart, so I had 2 ounces of each lengthwise, or lengthwise. Widthwise. I'm sorry, it was widthwise. So I had, so they're not exactly the same because I didn't do it the lengthwise. I did it widthwise. And this I ran through the blending board twice. So I blended it and then tore it apart and reblended it with the copper Angelina. So let me put this back in the bag real quick. So I got quite a bit, the 2 ounces. And then this last week I went ahead and finished the other 2 ounces. And this one, I only blended it once, so I tore it apart and blended it the one time with the copper Angelina. I didn't do the white. I decided to keep it in the copper. Let's see if I can find, here, this one's in. So this one shows all the different colors. You can see the yellows and the purple and the red that was in that. So you can tell the differences here between these two. So the blending of it really brought the purples out. But there might have been a lot of purple in that other 2 ounces. But I am really happy with that. And I think it's going to be a very interesting spin, because I am going to spin them separately and then ply them as a 2-ply. Because I think that the barber pulling is going to be fantastic. So I haven't decided if I'm going to spindle spin this or if I'm going to spin it on the Joy. I should know something in the next, I don't know. I'm thinking that this is what I'm going to be spinning. Not next after the Rambouillet, but maybe I spin after that, after my purchase that I want to show you. Last week, in between the 20th and the last time I was on here, I went to my LYS and I picked up a really pretty green bat, or not bat, but fiber. This is Polypay, Carbonized Bamboo, and Silk Hankies. I picked up 6 ounces, so I'm going to do a true 3-ply. Isn't that fabulous? It is so nice. If you recall, the white fiber that I purchased from her was from a mill. This came from the same mill. And I'm very happy with it. It's very nice and squishy, so that's going to be a fun spin. I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of that. I'll have to wait and see what the project is going to be. 6 ounces, if you do it right, you might be able to do socks out of it, but I don't know if I want to do Polypay and silk hankies and bamboo on my feet, but I'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Wow. Okay, so weaving. I went ahead and started the weaving project. I'd like to show you the 6 colors for now. As these colors run out, I have other hand spun leftovers that I'll just be throwing those in as I go. So this is a loop bat. It's number 1. Number 2 is another loop bat with sparkles. The rest of these I don't remember what they are, which makes me sad. I'll have to look back and figure it out from the knitted project. This is number 3. I have a purple issue. You guys know this. I have a purple issue. I have lots of purple. This is a single that's very thin, and it's very interesting when you throw the single in with the rest of the worsted weight fiber. So this is number 5. See, purple and blue. And this is number 6. Purple, pink, red, yeah. I have issues, I guess. And here it is on the Sample It loom. And this right here is that thin layer of the single. So it's not going to be perfect. The sides are a little bit better, but it's turning in a little bit more than what I wanted it to. I did loosen it up and have to fix this down here, so that might be part of why it's bowing like that, but it's handmade, it's mine, and I'm happy with it. So I roll the dice, and like I said before, I have 2 dice. I roll the dice, and it tells me the color to use, and it tells me how many rows to do. I did have to cheat one time, and I do feel kind of bad, but it would have been 22 rows of, let's see, I think it was 22 rows of this purple. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's like, no, I need to re-roll that dice to see what other color. Because there is a section where I have this, and then this, and this again. So it liked 2 and 5 a lot. And yeah, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I'm hoping to not have to cheat again. But I guess it's not cheating, it's mine, right? And I'm hoping to keep plugging away at that and changing colors once they run out. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And it's one I do for maybe an hour. I did that one night, and I've almost got a whole rotation done. So, or I do. If I pulled this all back through, I'd have one round of on the wheel, or on the loom. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. Now, I did some stitching this week on the Heaven and Earth Design Fly Butterfly. This is a chart by Michelle Satia. It's Sayetta. And this is one of the free Heaven and Earths. This is why I call her the purple butterfly, or the purple fairy. She's very pretty. I really like how pretty she is. Let me grab it here. I left it on the stand so I wouldn't have to refix the stand. So here we go. Oh! So now I'm going to have to fix the stand. So here it is. Hopefully you guys can see it. That is the first page on the top row. I finished the top row of the first page. So the second page is only like a half or a quarter. I goofed up. I guess I should have, this is 25 count. And what I should have done on this 25 count is done 2 over 2. And 2 over 2 means 2 pieces of floss over 2 rows. So the next one I do, I am going to do that because I bought the same size fabric for the other free Heaven and Earth design. I'm going to have a lot of fabric left over on this one, which makes me kind of sad because this is kind of expensive fabric. So yeah, I am not too happy about that. I also have been looking at other Heaven and Earth designs and other designs, and there's one I wanted to do and I can't remember what it is. So I guess never mind, because I was going to do it as it's an 18, no, it's on 16 count. Yeah, it's on 16 count, so I'm just going to pick up 8. Oh, that's what it is. The Hawaiian mandala. I'm going to go ahead and do it on 16 count 8 of cloth, and it turns out to be 30 by 30. You need 30 by 30 fabric, and because it's 21 and a quarter by 21 and a quarter when it's done. So you need 30 by 30 fabric. So I'm going to be looking around for that. And I looked on some of the websites and it was pretty pricey for the 32 count linen that they talked about. And 32 count, you'd still have to go 2 over 2. And it's really expensive for that stuff. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the 16 count 2 over 1. So, yeah. And I'm not sure with that one if I'm going to go ahead and buy all the doodads that come, or if I'm just going to do it all in DMC, because I keep looking at that price and it's a beautiful pattern, but it's really expensive. So I'm not sure if I'm going to, I probably will end up doing it just with DMC and picking up beads, and I'm not sure about the crystals. That Swarovski crystal stuff is pretty expensive. So I kind of winged through that fairly fast. I did get some questions on Instagram about earthquakes, and yes, Alaska does get earthquakes. We, I believe, are on that ring of fire kind of thing with the volcanoes and earthquakes. So we do get them. I have talked before about Valdez being destroyed and Anchorage having some major problems after the earthquake in the 1960s. So, yeah, earthquakes in Alaska, they are a thing. As I said before, I'm going to be handing out the candy, and it's going to be a warmer evening here. I saw that Retro Lemon, they canceled Halloween and moved it a day early because of bad weather, and I just have to laugh. There are times when I remember going out with my kids at 20 below and driving them from house to house so that they could go trick-or-treating. As a kid, I remember going out in the cold, and I used to walk. So, I'm a nice mommy. And, my mommy was good too, but, yeah, I think they talked about moving it at one point because it wasn't on a weekend, but now they don't even talk about it. Whenever day Halloween hits is the day Halloween hits. About that, I got a phone call. But anyway, as I was saying, the schools also do festivals for the kids. So if they don't go trick-or-treating at night, they do have an opportunity to go trick-or-treating at school. And the malls used to do it, but I'm not sure if they still do. But anyway, that's about all I have for this week. So, I will leave you with whatever you craft. I hope you craft it to your heart's content. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. And a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming back week after week. I really appreciate it. So, see you guys next week. Bye. Happy Halloween!